It's birthday time! Woo!
Who needs Folgers when you got in or out? So you wake up in the hub on it that way.
LegacyMaker, the all sports network, presents a SIRTOBA media production where the struggle is real to be awesome.
5, 4, 3, 2.
The wait is over.
Yeah, it's a little chilly out here. It feels fantastic out here.
Get your popcorn ready. It's time for the in or out sports debate with your hosts.
Hello, everybody. Darrell Owens, LegacyMaker Sports Network, along with Drew Willingham.
Hello, everyone. We are live for episode 69 of the In or Out Sports Debate. It's the birthday boy here as your host, Drew Willingham, along with special returning panelist. He is our head honcho here of the LegacyMaker Sports Network, the emblem you see in the top left corner. The reason why the most trailblazingest day of the year actually occurs here on January 7th. Please welcome the guy who is the number one guy of the sexiest day of the year in December. Welcome back, the one and only Mr. Rollback of Walmart Supercenters, Darrell Owens. Welcome back, brother.
Hey, what's up, brother? What's up? I appreciate the acknowledgement for sexiest day of the year. Very much appreciated. Today's the trailblazingest day of the year. We'll have fun with that bad boy. Very excited to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, anytime. You know, to get to this many episodes by my birthday with how things went with this show. The pandemic happened in 2020. We had 4 episodes that came about. Rob and I did one in 2021, revamped it in 2022. So many episodes, 61 episodes in the year of 2022. You were a part of 3 of those. Rob, another big reason why that actually occurred too. So many people, like 30 plus panelists, were here last year for 2022. So thank you again for being here on the most trailblazingest day of the year, but also here for your boy, D. Willie. So I greatly appreciate it. As always, when we get started for our show, we have to acknowledge those people like we just said, and that is the Vault of Fame.
Acknowledge me.
Man, you took me back. This is why this show was so important, and this is why I am personally validating and vouching for this show. If you are anybody in media, sports, professional wrestling, anything, you need to be on In or Out Sports Debate with my man Drew Willingham, because this has got to be one of the most fun things I've ever done in a long time.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the In or Out Sports Debate Vault of Fame through 68 episodes. We have it here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. This show is presented by LegacyMaker Sports Network, produced by SIRTOBA Media. You can check out those handles for the LegacyMaker Sports Network at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, the new TikTok channel, and the latest in sports at LegacyMakerSports.com. You can check out the In or Out Sports Debate on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Twitch, as well as the audio platforms on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Prime, Anchor.fm, and you can download them individually on iTunes. You can check out SIRTOBA Media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the new YouTube channel coming soon, and the latest on SIRTOBA for the struggle is real.com. We are here for episode 69. It is the happy birthday edition with the little young ones beside the dude behind him, the guy talking right now, and that is me, Drew Willingham, along with my special returning panelist, Darrell Owens. Man, I have been looking forward to this episode all week. We've gotten through 68 episodes. We've done a couple this year. And speaking of which, I've got to get your acknowledgement about something on camera as I did it with the man in the last episode, in episode 68. Let me see how you feel about this on camera.
And look at that! That turncoat, Brian Waters, with a damn Jay Bougie shirt on!
Turncoat. Hashtag turncoat. Brian H. Waters. Look, man, I'm gonna tell you, when he first posted the video and I saw it, I said, bro, this is the funniest. The commentator killed it. This turncoat. Man, he called that man a turncoat. He went revolutionary on this guy. Revolutionary. It's crazy.
I even made that special clip, and I had to break it down to 8 seconds just to show you. I was like, and I even said in episode 68, I said, that clip in itself, that entire 2-minute montage of you turning heel, brought tears to our guy's eyes.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was when I first saw it, I cried. I was crying. I'm like, yo, that's too funny. Oh, Brian H. Waters, the turncoat. Hashtag turncoat, baby. Let's go.
Dude, Brian H. is a great guy, and
Great
the wrestling
people.
realm has done great things for Legacy Maker Sports Network, with your
Yes.
appearances here and you taking your time. So thank you again, guys, for those of you watching who are part of the wrestling realm, for taking that time to be here. Brian H. been here 3 times, the other members twice apiece, and now Darrell here for the 4th time. So with that said, we got to get this started into some rightful action. Let's take this into round 1 and see what we got for this episode.
Round 1.
And here with round 1, Darrell, a team you know very, very well. And the true grit of Aaron Rodgers this season is why the Green Bay Packers are potentially playoff bound. How you feel about this one? Are you in or are you out on this?
I am out, sir. Yeah, man. Don't get me wrong. A-Rod is my guy. The green and gold in the back. You can always tell that. Here's the deal, though. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been playing like Aaron Rodgers this whole season. Let's be honest. He's had some flashes here and there. He's made a couple of great throws here and there, and we've seen a little bit of Aaron do his thing. But to be honest with you, the reason why the Packers are where they're at right now is because of 2 things. One, you got Aaron Jones and you got my man A.J. Dillon handling the rock, and they've run the ball a lot more. They've kind of taken on that San Francisco 49er playbook to an extent. They've had it for the last couple of years, but they're truly starting to really get it going now. They just have a Hall of Fame quarterback that can potentially do great things if they need to pass the ball. But A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones have been key to this Packers team the last couple of weeks. And of course the defense. My man Jair Alexander. I wish I can show it to you on my phone here, but this is from the Commanders and Packers
we see
game.
it? Yeah,
From the Commanders and Packers game earlier this year. Jair took a beating early in the year. And this last couple of weeks, it's funny. He's been hilarious at times on camera, but I really think he's taken that next step. He realized, look, we just got to go out here and ball. And they went out there and they done that. So between the defense and the running game, I think those are the 2 factors. Aaron is a nice little plus to have on the side, but those are the reasons why the Packers could be playoff bound if they win tomorrow.
I agree with you on this wholeheartedly. That's why I'm out on this as well. The Green Bay Packers have been playing absolute team ball over the course of the past month when they played the Vikings on New Year's Day and won 41-17. And when in a matchup, Aaron Rodgers only had 159 passing yards with 1 touchdown. To me, that speaks volumes about how their complete team is playing throughout the course of an entire game, because if your quarterback only has a little over 150 passing yards, the reigning 2-time NFL MVP, okay, and he's struggling and getting 159 passing yards, you want to tell me it's all about Aaron Rodgers? Absolutely not. When you think about that, and they barely beat the Dolphins the week before that on Christmas Day, 26-50. The week before that, we've seen the LA Rams having the struggles that they have had throughout the entirety of the season. Came into that game 4-9. Lost that game only by 12 points to the Packers, who were 6-8 coming into that game. So I can rattle this off. This is pretty much just the last month's statistics. the entire team is coming together. It's a beautiful thing to watch, honestly, when you see both sides of the ball collectively coming together. The NFC North has been a division that people have been undermining all season long when you think about them overhyping the NFC East. And me being a fan of the team formerly known as REDSKINS, now known as the Commanders, which I absolutely refuse on my day of birth to call them that. I call them the Commies. With that being said, back to the NFC North. When you think about the teams that are a part of that division, you got the Vikings who are atop of that at 12-4, a team that has been exposed in all 4 deficits that they have had all season long. Then you see the teams that are creeping up that division for that last wild card spot in the NFC, and you've got the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. And nothing to knock your team of the Green Bay Packers there, Darrell, but Detroit has been a special team all year long. You got Dan Campbell and the Hard Knocks episodes that we had on HBO that we saw before the season started. I felt like this was going to be a special team in NFC North, and I was calling it on Legacy on Fire when we were having the episodes earlier this year. I was saying that the Commies, formerly known as the REDSKINS, were going to be a surprise team, and they were. They kept you in it till the last 2 weeks of the season, and so we'll get to what we have in round 3 for this episode. But when you think about NFC North, you got the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers both at 8-8. It's been a special year to see what started for the season for both of those teams, and they have both clawed their way back to being what we're talking about as teams to enter the playoffs at the end of the season by week 18.
Yeah, I will say this. I think a lot of people thought that beginning of the season, potentially 2 teams, probably Minnesota, Green Bay, at the beginning of the season. And then as the season went along, it was like, no way, not the way those teams are playing. Detroit was struggling. I think Detroit might have been like 1-5, 1-6 at one point. And then they won like 7 out of their last 8 to get where they are right now. Green Bay kind of in the same boat. They were 4-8, and they had to kind of crawl back. They've only lost 1 game since, they were 4-7 and they lost 1 game since then to get them in the position that they are. And now tomorrow night, we could be seeing 2 teams battle it out. Now, the only bad thing about this for the Lions, but they won't tell you this, if Seattle does win tomorrow before the Green Bay game happens, which is a Sunday night game, then unfortunately, the Lions will be only playing to spoil the Green Bay Packers' opportunity to make the playoffs. If the Seahawks lose to the Rams, then we've got a whoever wins is in type of scenario. So, I mean, it's cool. I think overall for me, I think it's cool to see. But I think a lot of people, you can't sleep on this Lions team. They've averaged 30 points. They've averaged 30 points all season long. Offensively, they're dangerous. Defensively, on the other hand, that's where things get a little bit shaky. But I don't put nothing past Dan Campbell and that team tomorrow night. I like a lot of people picking Green Bay because it's the mystique of Aaron Rodgers, but I am not looking past the Detroit Lions.
I mean, people were knocking the whole trade between LA and Detroit before, and look at what Jared Goff is doing now. I mean, he's still not the equivalent of what they had last year for the Super Bowl run that the Rams had. They basically went all in for last year because I don't see them making it to that point over the next 5 years. I think they kind of hurt themselves in the future, but they did go all in to get that one Super Bowl. Detroit, I'm not trying to say anything on the aspirations of that team is going to go anywhere close to what the Rams did, but I think as far as building a future, the youth, you got more youth in Jared Goff than you did with Matthew Stafford. You've got more of a backup plan with Baker Mayfield in LA. There's a lot more upside for the NFC North going forward than what the LA Rams did on the other side of that trade. So I definitely agree with you on that. But with you speaking about 2 teams going head-to-head, we got another 2 teams going head-to-head here real soon that we've got something to look forward to. That's what we got here for round 2.
Round 2.
And Darrell here for round 2. Take it to the college football playoffs. Take it to the national championship here that we got coming up here real soon. TCU will upset the defending national champion Georgia Bulldogs next week. How do you feel about this one? Are you in or are you out on this one?
I'm out. So here's the thing. I'll be honest with you. Watching those, first of all, let's give love to that those national semifinal games that we had last week. Amazing games with Michigan and TCU, and then Georgia and Ohio State. Both games could have went either way. Ohio State was a field goal away from making it to this, to this point. But I will say this: I just don't think that TCU will have enough firepower to beat that Georgia Bulldogs team next week. It's going to be it should be a really good game. I mean, I know TCU is going to be playing underdog, and they're out there to try to spill things, to spoil things. I should say they're out there to spoil everything. But this Georgia Bulldog team is built, different. And if I had to kind of give you an homage to another team, Kirby Smart came from Alabama, and he's starting to push. He's stolen some of Nick Saban's power and transferred all the way over. All the way over to Georgia. So Georgia's in a really good spot right now. I got Georgia winning the game. I will give the score on Monday. I'll give my official score on Monday, but I got Georgia right now.
So you've got Georgia. You don't have an official score yet?
I do, but I'm gonna drop it on Monday. I'm gonna drop it on Monday.
Give a spoiler alert. If you've already got something, you want to give a spoiler alert? The in or out sports debate.
No, man. No spoiler alert just yet. I'm gonna drop it. I may drop it tomorrow. I got to do one-on-one tomorrow, but I'm gonna hold off on it. I'll probably drop it on Monday though.
I mean, I'll forgive you this time because you already gave me a birthday wish by being here on the show for today. But come on, man. It's kind of like if somebody just came up to your face right now and did this.
Oh man.
And the throw it out there for the specialty of that one here for round 2. But we go back and forth with this one, and we definitely will go back and forth this one because I'm in on this one. Darrell's out for some very good reasons, but when you think about this TCU team, like the winner of that game, I said it on Sports Sensays Unleashed episode 1. Go check it on either the LegacyMaker Sports Network replay or on SDM Sports Radio Network or Snowman Multimedia. There's a lot of different avenues to look at it. But anyway, the point is, when you look at this TCU team and you look at what Michigan was, I said that winner of that game was going to go and dethrone whoever won the game between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Ohio State Buckeyes. And saying dethroned definitively because Ohio State was on top for a while with Alabama and Georgia. So they've been the 3 teams on top within the past decade. I expected TCU to come here for the first time since their days with Andy Dalton and do something special and win this year based on how they played throughout the course of the year. I said that if they can beat Michigan, and I said this on Sports Sensays Unleashed episode 1, if they can beat Michigan, they're going to go upset the Georgia Bulldogs. And we saw throughout that game with Georgia and Ohio State, Georgia was struggling at points. And I even had Ohio State winning at one point of the game, going through the midway point of the game. When you look at the statistics, it doesn't even really matter because the flow of the game told me enough watching going back and forth between Ohio State and Georgia and TCU, even though Michigan was there at the end of the game. TCU dominated the majority of that game. So looking at the pros and cons between the 4 teams we had in the college football playoff semifinals and coming soon with the expansion to 12, it's going to be a serious change here in the college football playoffs. And we saw something special this year with TCU. I really feel like they've got a special team that's going to upset this defending national champion, undefeated Georgia Bulldog team.
Yeah, that's the thing. TCU took a really tough loss in the Big 12 championship, and they could have potentially have been the number 2 team heading into this playoffs. But Dugan has done a really good job there. That team has really done their thing. I know that their top running back could be out for this one, and that's something that's a little bit worrisome for me. They're going to need all the firepower they can to beat a stud Georgia team. Can they beat them? By all means, they can. Any given Monday in this case, any given Monday. And so, but for me, I think Kirby Smart is starting to, he done stole some of Nick Saban's powers. He's like, give me your powers, and so he's stolen some of his powers. And I feel like Georgia is setting themselves up to be really good for a very long time.
No, you're absolutely right, because from what we've seen between last year and this year, they've got a powerhouse going forward. It's going to be special to watch. I mean, there's been a lot of hype during this somewhat of a small offseason in college football leading up to this with Colorado and the addition of Deion Sanders. It's still great for that team, but they've got to still live up to the Georgia hype. And I feel like you said, they've got a very good team going forward. I don't feel like there's anybody that's going to dethrone this team in the next couple of years, except for an upset from TCU this Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern here on national TV.
Hey, look, here's the thing, though. If TCU wins, man, we get to see Shaq eat a frog. So Shaq made a bet with Ernie on TNT the other day that if TCU wins the game, that he would eat a horned frog. Now, I don't know if horned frogs are poisonous or not, because I don't know if Shaq, that's a good idea, but he did say that he will eat a frog on national television if TCU wins. For that reason, I would be all down to see TCU, just to see, is he going to eat this bad boy cooked, or he going to try to eat this frog straight up? But that's where I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit intrigued right there.
That goes along with the list of things I learned today, because I didn't even know that. So thank you for telling me that. That's awesome to see that going forward. Guys, we've gone through 2 rounds here. What do you think? Let us know in the comments if you agree with if the TCU Horned Frogs will upset the Georgia Bulldogs this Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for the national championship. With that being said, I've got a little special something I want to show for a little bit of a promo here for round 2, and let's go ahead and go with some breaking news. And that breaking news goes along with what we previously announced on episode 68, and that is that Antonio Penn, professional cornerback, in the independent leagues. He's playing in the indoor football leagues right now, but as a free agent there in the NFL, along with Joey Raymond, this upcoming Monday, 7:05 p.m. Eastern on January 9th, just before the National Football Championship game. And then we have Tuesday, the return of the man, Rob Johnson, for episode 71 at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. The man who is one of the pioneers with one of the most trailblazingest of them all, from what they say, here on Tuesday for the In-Or-Out Sports Debate. He was here for the first 11 episodes, came back for episode 56, and he is back 15 episodes later for episode 71 of the In-Or-Out Sports Debate. But we are back, though, with episode 69 and then one and only
13. Lucky 13 for Mr. Rob there. Oh,
yeah, man. So he is back, and I'm just as hyped about that as I am about this episode. Being here on the day of birth with the one and only Mr. Rollback, Darrell Owens. With that being said, let's go ahead and take this into round 3.
Round 3.
And here with round 3.
Poor Ron, man. God, Ron.
Let me take the banner away for a second for this. Everybody can see the unemployment sign on the bottom right-hand corner.
God.
This is actually a clip from Family Guy that you can find on TBS for Family Guy. There you can see weekly for
Poor
that
Ron,
show. The unplanned plug that I had right there for the show. But when it comes to Ron Rivera should be fired for his mismanagement of the QB position this year. When you think about everything, and someone that I know that has been in a lot of Commanders games this year, and that is you, Darrell Owens. How do you feel about this one? Do you agree with the statement? Are you in or are you out on it?
You know what? I'm going to be in this time. I'm not going to lie to you. I was going to be out for a little bit, but here's the thing. It's really in for a couple of reasons. The quarterback situation has been abysmal, unfortunately, for the Commanders this year. You know, they started out the season with Carson Wentz. We see them go 1-5, I believe, and then Carson Wentz gets hurt in that Chicago game. They get the win in that game. Then Taylor Heineke comes in and does what he does last year. Taylor went through, did his thing, went on a little winning streak, and then December hit, and unfortunately, I just felt like they were waiting for Taylor to mess up once Carson got healthy, it was like, look, the first bad game Taylor has, Carson's coming right back in the game. And then boom, that happens. And then we got the Browns game last week. To me, I think there's a lot of reasons that unfortunately he should no longer be there. The quarterback situation might be one. And here's the thing. I got to say this too. I love Ron Rivera, man. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He is a champion person. If that even makes any sense. He's one of the greatest people that you'll ever meet. But you have to go back and look at Ron Rivera's record, Drew. I mean, his record as a head coach is not stellar. This is his third straight as of right now, unless they win tomorrow. This would be his third straight season with 7 wins. Now, yeah, a couple years ago they got in the playoffs in COVID year, but it's like if you go back and look at his career, he's only had 3 winning seasons, and one of them was 15-1 when they went to the Super Bowl. But he's only had like 3 winning seasons, and this team. I'll put it this way, and I'll move on after this. If Dan Snyder is somehow the owner of this team next year, I believe Ron Rivera will still be the coach. If the ownership switches over in March, when I got a feeling it will do, then I will feel like he will no longer be the head coach there. And that's what I'm going to go with, Drew. But I'm definitely in because it's definitely part of why he should not be there anymore. God, and I love the guy. And I feel bad, man, because he's a really good guy, man. Yeah.
I have been waiting for this topic all day long. It is the day of birth we acknowledge here on the In or Out Sports Debate. But when it comes to this topic right here, in this exact graphic, I absolutely have to agree with my man here. I'm in this way. Guys, this team has been an absolute dumpster fire since the turn of this most recent decade. From 2020, the pandemic, the name change, the Washington team of football. I would much rather you be the Washington team of football. So I can say hashtag WTF when you lose, when you win, no matter what the situation is. WTF is better than listing you as the Commanders. And it's hard. It hurts to say the name Commanders. Is why I call you the Commies, formerly known as the REDSKINS. That is the then, now, and forever, as they say in WWE, for this guy, D. Willie, going forward. Anyway, when it comes to this topic right here, for Ron Rivera should be fired for his mismanagement of the QB position. I agree with Darrell for a lot of similar reasons. He laid the situation out thick and thin, and I cannot give enough gratitude for what you said with that. But I'm going to kind of enhance that a little bit more with his coaching record, like you said. So when you look at Ron Rivera's coaching statistics over the course of an 18-year career, I mean, he's spent 18 years throughout the years as a either defensive coordinator or a head coach. And you look at what he's done. I mean, he's been a head coach of the Carolina Panthers, the Washington Redskins, now the Commanders, formerly known as the Washington team of football. A lot of name changes. They've got more name changes over the past few years, and they actually have playoff appearances in the past 20. So it's really sad when you think about all this. This is coming from somebody who's a fan who has the former loco tattooed in a half sleeve on his left arm that he got prior to the name change. So I am vintage. I am awesome. I'm sorry. Those of you watching this know that's why you're watching. I'm sorry. But thank you again for watching, by the way. Anyway, when you look at what Ron Rivera has done as a head coach, he's 21-27-1 with the one tie in his 3 years as a head coach for the Washington Commies. Before that, he spent 9 years in Carolina with the Carolina Panthers, was 76-63. And a lot of that I have to put on the shoulders of Cam Newton, because Cam Newton was an NFL MVP for that 1 year, carried that offense. Ron Rivera is a defensive-minded coach. When he played in the NFL, he was on the defense. Ron Rivera historically won the NFL Super Bowl in 1985 with the Chicago Bears. Was he like an MVP or someone of historic note? No, but he still was a part of a prestigious team. And that, along with that prestige, was what helped him get to the coaching ranks and helped him get to the head coaching ranks. When you think of everything from that 1985 Super Bowl to now in 2023 through the 2022 season. That's just me being realistic. Somebody getting to the position based on a hype of an event, than actually producing something. Because, yes, he did pretty good as the San Diego Chargers defensive coordinator. And he was defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears for a little bit between 04 and 06, but still had more damage done in the NFL with the San Diego Chargers defensive coordinator position. So, yes, he was a part of a special team that helped him get to where he got when it came to the Carolina Panthers head coaching position. Then he had Cam Newton, and now he's in Washington. And ever since he's been in Washington for the past 3 years, it has been a roller coaster. There has been some good moments, but there's been more downside than good. And I feel like maybe I might be going a little bit too harsh on Ron Rivera because they might not be the position they're in at this point of the year. But when I really think about how he managed the QB position last week, and then this week he says, well, I didn't really realize the position we were in for the playoff position going into this spot in the year. You should know exactly where you're at in the playoffs position before you even start the damn game. And I'm sorry for saying the word damn, but Stephen A. Smith can say it on ESPN, and I can say it right here on LegacyMaker Sports Network. So with that being said, Ron Rivera is just like being Nathaniel Hackett and not managing the 2-minute clock to perfection. You don't need to be perfection-esque, but when you think about how you manage it, you need to know what's going on before you enter the situation. And I'm sorry. That's why I agree with my man, Darrell Owens.
Look, here's a funny thing. I was in the press conference room when he said it, when they asked him about it. And they said, hey, man, they said, if Green Bay, if what happens at 4:00, if Green Bay wins, he said, we can be eliminated. I'm not going to lie to you. I never felt so bad for somebody in my life because I feel like, he's been through a lot when he's been in Washington. He had, he went through the cancer, but just imagine having to deal with all the outside stuff that you got to deal with being the head coach of the Washington Commanders / Washington football team, Washington Ari Reed. You know what I mean? Anyway, but with that being said, though, like this franchise has been through so much. And we look, as a part of the LegacyMaker Sports Network, we truly appreciate the opportunities that the organization has given us over the years. I have to say that before I say this. But it's just when you go back and look at it, everything is so all over the place. Every time they try to do something good, something bad comes along with it, or vice versa. So we could go on. The Sean Taylor statue / mannequin, whatever you call it. They said the family loved it. Fans hated it. It's like they feel like Sean Taylor should be treated better. I couldn't wait to do this one. My guy, a.k.a. Major Tutty. I was calling him Captain Oink before the game. I told my guys, hey, what do you think they're going to name the mascot? He was like, I don't know. I said, what about Captain Oink? Because I think I like that. And after Major Tutty made his appearance, he came to me and said, man, I like Captain Oink better. So, I mean, but there's so much like misstep, unfortunately. And I think most of what they've done, how they say, you try to be more, you should be more proactive than reactive. And in this situation, I feel like they're reactive. Everything they try to do, they try to make up for something that went bad. Sexual scandals. Let's change the name of the team. We get in trouble for the John Gruden thing. Let's retire Sean Taylor's jersey. It seems like it's like you always have a comeback for a mistake, and it's like the organization needs a fresh start, Drew. And I know I'm preaching to the choir on this one, man. I'm preaching to the choir. I know. But that's the thing, man. And I hate to see Ron Rivera be the casualty of that. But you said his record was 79-63, I believe, as a head coach. Well, here's the thing: if it wasn't for that 15-1 season, he would be 500. That's just, I mean, so if it wasn't for that 15-1 season, he would have been right there. He's a solid coach. He's just not sounds mean to say not a great coach, but that's what it is. He's a solid coach.
To correct that, it was 76-63 as a head coach of the Carolina Panthers. But you're on the right track. As a full-on head coach in the 12-year history, he's 97-90-2. Has 2 ties. He has a tie with both the Carolina Panthers and with the Washington Commies. 97-90, he's only 7 games above 500. but he's 6 games below 500 with Washington. He's 21-27. So when you think about all that, and the fact they're going to a big game with Dallas this Sunday, mainly big for Dallas, not really big for Washington. But it's going to be a big rival game, so it's still something big for Washington to end the season on. Your season's over, but you can end it on a high note. You can beat Dallas and mess them up in the playoffs. They will not get the division title, but they will get the wild card, and it'll mess them up with seeding. So you still have something to play towards and something to be hyped on. You have Sam Howell coming in there. You can see what he's going to be about. Our guy, Tyrone Montgomery Jr., the LegacyMaker Sports Network, has hyped up Sam Howell in episodes 12 and 15 of this show earlier on in the show's history. So when you think about that, I'm excited to see what Sam Howell can do. Taylor Heineke tipped his hat and said, go ahead and just let the kid see what he can do with us being the final game of the season. But with all that being said, you'll get a front row seat of that this upcoming Sunday, 4:05 p.m. Eastern. But with that being said, when you think about with what transpired this year, and I want to go back to something that you said before we go to the next phase of this show, Sean Taylor's mannequin or the display of him, you were there for that. And so was James Brown, by the way. So shout out to James Brown, an actual 3-time Vault of Fame inductee. James Brown of this show. I'm going to get on here soon, by the way. But speaking of that, you two were there for that. And he got that little clip with Ryan Clark in there as well. When you think about everything and you were there for that, what was it like experiencing the downplay of one Sean Taylor's career on that mannequin display?
It's tough, man. Like I said, according to what it seems like, the family was okay with it for the most part. Now, what a lot of people didn't see about that, I will give it love, at the very bottom of the display, there's like some really nice career. It's a really nice marble type display of his career at the bottom. That's what a lot of people didn't see. A lot of complaints were, it's not a Reebok jersey, which makes sense. His helmet didn't have the signature, tape on there, and a lot of hardcore Sean Taylor fans were hurt by that. His family I will say, the family seemed to be okay with it overall. But I mean, yes, that's the most important thing. But there's a fan base that has given so much to this team, even when they probably shouldn't have. And if you're going to respect and do something for the legends, by all means, make it happen, make it pretty. Now, I think the other reason why they went with the mannequin, because Jason Wright said this while we were there. He said, we'll be able to maneuver this, depending on whatever, place that we end up being. Because in their minds, they're trying to new stadium in 2026, 27. And so they will be able to maneuver it then. And hopefully by then, maybe this is just temporary until they can get something that's solid there. But I'm not gonna lie to you, man. There was some Commanders fans behind me like, man, what was that? Like, I mean, I was just like, it wasn't pretty, man. It wasn't pretty.
Bro, I definitely feel your pain on that. And like, I was just watching it from afar. I mean, you and I had the one game experience earlier this year as well. And, just looking on how they memorialized Sean Taylor, the two of us went to that game and we even talked about looking forward to the hypeness of Sean Taylor's statue. Yeah. And then we see this, and it looked like a display you would see at a Dick's Sporting Goods, like with the jersey. And I was just completely baffled at what this team could do. And then you have Ron Rivera making the decisions that he's making at the quarterback position. That's why I agree with you on this. I'm in. Get him out of here. Let's bring in Jim Harbaugh.
Sorry, Ron.
Harbaugh is like a big free agent. Bring in Jim Harbaugh, and let's have the Harbaughs against each other, AFC, NFC. Take the Commies to the Super Bowl, old Jimmy. Bring them on in.
I think, I will say this before I know we got to move on. I think if you're Washington, you go young gun. I mean, Jim Harbaugh sounds sexy, but let's think about all the times they brought in sexy coaches. You bring in Marty Schottenheimer, he's old. They bring in all these people, and they're older. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring in a young gun. A lot of the teams that are doing well right now have young guns at coaches, young, more exuberant guys. Your Dan Camerals, your Matt LaFleurs, your, Robert Saleh's. Yes, if you look at that formula, go in that range, two guys, and I'll give credit to, DeMarco Ryan out there in San Francisco. Rob Johnson screams at you, and I'm pretty sure he'll scream when you talk about. He talks about DeMarco Ryan all the time. It's a really good choice, and a lot of executives think he's going to be a great head coach. But the other one, the one I tell you to watch out for, is Matt LaFleur's little brother, Mike LaFleur out there in New York. He has the
Mikey?
connect. Yeah, Mike LaFleur, watch out, because you got to think about it. All of these great young coaches at one point were Washington organization coaches. So watch out for Mike LaFleur. That's my prediction. I think they might go young, and I think he might be a good choice.
That's why this is so heartbreaking. You had Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. You had Kyle Shanahan that led Snowman and Kyle Nash's 49ers to the Super Bowl. And you had Sean McVay, who just won a Super Bowl. And you want to sit here. I agree with you 100%.
They had Matt LaFleur.
You want to sit here talking about young coaches. And look at what we had.
Yep. They had Matt LaFleur too. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they had 3 of the best young coaches in the league on their staff.
That's why it's so painful. That's why it's so painful, Darrell. But we'll see what happens. Like, I had high hopes for Ron Rivera when he came in here. But going forward, I feel like they need to just blow it up. I really like Heineke. Keep him. He's cheap. And bring some other pieces around him and bring somebody that's younger, like you said, to motivate and build him up, because he's something special on a cheaper deal, and build up that offense around you and a couple more defensive splashes. And we'll see what happens with that. But going forward, that's something that we can talk about in episodes going forward. But before we go to the next phase of this show, I want to show everybody a little preview of what we have on Mondays at 1:05 p.m. Eastern. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Sports Senseis Unleashed. You can check out on Sports Radio Network of the SDM Sports Radio Network, along with the Snowman Multimedia channel, which you can find on YouTube, the Patreon, Facebook, and all the major platforms, as well as the resyndication on LegacyMaker Sports Network on the evenings of those shows. But again, we are here for episode 69 of the In or Out Sports Debate with the one and only Darrell Owens. We've gone through 3 awesome jam-packed rounds. There's one more.
Bro. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. The beat be like, give it to him.
And before we go forward with that, too, to acknowledge what you're saying, I have to give a shout out to Cole Johnson for that, because Cole Johnson made that intro. And I was giving him a hard time for a little bit. I said, Cole, we're going to need an intro. And I was giving Snowman a hard time. I was like, you're having me on here on Mondays. We need to make a show out of this. Then the fans in the live chat, we had some fans commenting. They're like, this guy's bringing you some energy. You need to make a show. And then, like,
got to do it.
I don't want to say the name of the actual first one that was, because the fans picked the name of the show. That was the funniest part, because we were doing Snowman in the Morning Plus. Quick little off the rails segment here, but we were doing Snowman in the Morning Plus on the weeks of Mondays. Snowman and I would get up around 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And the fans would actually start suggesting the names, because Snowman was like, well, if we did a show, just the 2 of us, what would you call it? And the name Unleashed was put in with one, which if we would have gone with that name, it would have sounded like a softcore porn. We couldn't do with that one. But we took the name Unleashed, and then people were calling, because of my promo video for Kayfabe Express, they were calling me a sensei. So they came up with the Sports Senseis Unleashed. And that's how that was born. This promo right here for the Sports Senseis Unleashed, Mondays, 1:05 p.m. Eastern on the SDM Sports Radio Network. But guys, we've gone through 3 great rounds so far on this birthday edition of the In or Out Sports Debate. We've got to take this into the next segment, and that is the comments from the fans, and see what you guys have to say so far throughout this episode. Let's go ahead and check that out. Darrell, we got a little bit of action going on so far here in the comments. And so far, and this is from a guy who turned up about probably like 8 or 10 episodes ago. This guy's name is Ike Doesn't Give a Fuck. And I love that name. Like, that's I even made a special little video for him. Let's play it right now. Ike doesn't give a fuck. Fuck.
Fuck.
He showed up in episode 62, so it was 7 episodes ago. And I even said that because his name sounds like a Disturbed song. So when you listen to Disturbed, and it's just like,
Ike doesn't give a fuck.
it just sounds like a Disturbed song. So that's why, great name, Ike. Like, your name might be Ike or Isaac, but I love your last name, whether it's legit or not. Kayfabe expressed. Love it, Ike. With that being said, let's go ahead and take us to the next comment. The vault is looking sweet. And thank you for that, Ike. It's the first Vault of Fame that we made since the new computer that I got on the Black Friday edition of what I got. So, dude, my computer took a complete dump during episode 55 with the wrestling realm. Like it was a dumpster fire at one point in the show, but they stuck it out with me. Thank you guys. Had to borrow a laptop from a friend just to get through the next few episodes. Black Friday comes, get the awesome computer microphone deal. We are back in business here on the Internet Sports Page.
Crispy.
I agree with Darrell. The team has come together solid at the time frame of this. We were talking about the Green Bay Packers. So definitely, Ike, the Green Bay Packers have definitely come together to make a solid formidity to what they are now. One game away from making the playoffs.
Man, they better not getting these. Look, I've been saying this. I got to throw this out there. I've been saying this for weeks. I don't want all this hard work just to lose to the 49ers in the first round, because that's what it's leading to. I mean, unfortunately, if we win, if everything kind of finishes out, guess what? We end up playing San Francisco in the first round. I am not trying to hear Snowman, my guy Elijah. I cannot hear these 49ers fans coming at me for one more year. Look, okay, guys, you got our number. Okay, Snowman, you got our number. You guys don't have to always tell me. You have the Green Bay Packers number. You got Aaron Rodgers in the bag. Leave me alone. Now, I will say, if we win, I'm coming for y'all, because if we get in and we win, I'm coming for y'all, because y'all been treating me like a stepchild for the last 3 years. I'm sorry, I had to get it out. That stepchild for the last 3 years, man, been coming for me. I'm coming for y'all.
Well, hey, I've been giving Snowman a hard time about this team all year long, which you've been able to see. And when you really think about what, absolutely snow cold. When you really think about what I've been giving into Snowman during these episodes of the Sports Sensates Unleashed, Snowman in the Morning Plus, this team does have a strong defense, but they've got a Mr. Irrelevant quarterback, their third-string quarterback, leading the helm for the quarterback position. When it comes to the regular season, it's one thing, but playoffs are a different animal. You still have to get past the division game no matter how great your record is and get to the NFC Championship. There is a lot on the shoulders of that one young man, so we'll definitely see what comes up here in the playoffs. With the next comment we've got here, the Damar Hamlin situation will impact the playoffs significantly.
Yeah.
Let's take that into an in or out. So do you agree with that? You're in with that one?
I'm in. Look, and it's, look, first of all, this has to be said. We are so happy, and on behalf of the LegacyMaker Sports Network, we are so happy to see that Damar is coming around. Things are great. I know, like yesterday, he surprised his team. They had a team meeting, and he actually spoke with the team and gave them some words of encouragement. I'm so happy that this young man, at 24 years old, they even said that he may get back. He may be able to play again. I don't know if he will want to play again, but he may be able to play again. That's how good things are looking for him. But it has. Look, it's already, his situation has already impacted the playoffs tremendously, Drew. I mean, you got to look at it. We're talking about potential coin flips and neutral site games that could be taking place. AFC Championship game, depending on who gets in, may not take place at the team that's got the better record. It could be in Indianapolis. It could be in Pittsburgh, but it may not be at that player. So that it's hurting people like that. Cincinnati's already pissed, because if somehow, some way, I think if Baltimore wins, I can't remember who's got the heads up on them, but depends on who wins that game tomorrow, they might have to do a coin flip to see who gets the home game. Man, and so Cincinnati feel like they're being gypped. So most definitely. I'm glad the young man's okay, though. That's the biggest thing.
I agree with Darrell on this. I'm in as well. And also agree with what Darrell said. I'm just glad the man's awake. Yes. Breathing tubes out. He's able to communicate, because things were looking pretty nasty on that Monday night game that we saw, and something that nobody had ever seen before. So it's definitely great to see him awake. I mean, football should be the furthest thing from his mind right now, but it is pretty cool to know that one of his first words were, "How did we do?" if they won or whatnot. But for him to also know that the NFL stuck up for him and shut the game down was great to see. I mean, the Bengals, first-class organization, to be able to just say, hey, we're not going to go out there, because they could have forced the hand of the Buffalo Bills and kept this game going. If you really look at the situation, had they really forced the hand of the Bills, they could have kept going, probably won the game, and then we would have a different outcome than what we're all talking about right now. But that would have been a horrible way to keep this thing going. But to see that there's neutral sites potentially for the games to be played based on a coin flip like you're talking about is crazy to be talking about here in the final week of the season. Never heard of that before. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that all pans out over the course of the next 48 hours with these games that we have left to finalize the week 18 of the season. To keep it going with the comments here, Corey Mann has this to say: out on topic 2, I'm sure Georgia has looked at their last game and will be more sharper than their last game. It has been few weeks since all those teams have played, and through the games were good. Georgia didn't play Georgia football, and until the fourth quarter, I feel bad for TCU for the dogs they are going to get Monday night. How do you feel about that one?
Oh, I'm in on that.
Yeah,
I feel 100% on that. Like, look, Corey is speaking the truth on this, and I feel the same way. I think, when you take 3 weeks off before you play a game, their last game was like the first week of December, and they didn't play again until the end of the month. So it's like it's a really tough stretch to miss 3 weeks of football and kind of get back in your groove. And some people may even say that could have helped TCU a little bit because of what happened in Michigan. But for me, I agree with Corey 100% on this one.
Corey comes back with topic 1. I'm with you both. To add to what you both have said, Aaron Rodgers has shown us that his leadership skills are not too much up to par as well. I think if he had taken the opportunity to be more empathetic and more understanding to the younger players, I don't think they would have started 4-8.
100% agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
100% agree with that because, I think now that when their back was against the wall, those young receivers have really stepped up. Watson has been going off. I think Watson's had like a touchdown a game. He's probably got I think he's got 8 touchdowns, and it's half of a season. Just imagine if one, he was healthy, and they was on the same page early. Who knows? And Dobbs just came back, so the young core is really starting to click. He still got his vets with Tunyon and Cobb. Things are okay right now. I'm still not going into tomorrow thinking we automatically got it because I'm a realist. I'm a realist, man. Look, until they say 0-0-0. The Packers are in the playoffs. I ain't believing nothing till I see it. I'm just sorry. That's how they done me the last 10, 15 years. So whatever.
Spot on with that, Corey, man. Absolutely. So
yes,
I agree with you and Darrell on that as well. Ron Rivera, unfortunately, needs to be held accountable for his mismanagement of the team. How do you go against a hot Taylor Heineke for a brittle win? Laugh out loud. It's simple math, isn't it? I'm sorry. Carson's career is done.
Yeah, man. I'm going to tell you. All right. So obviously I was at the game last week. Drew, I'm telling you right now, everything Carson did, if it was a mistake, if he overthrew somebody, if it went a little bit to the left, if it fell slow, if he got sacked, no matter what Carson Wentz did, even when Jonathan Allen got hurt, when your star, let's be honest with your overall star of this team, besides Terry McLaurin, gets hurt, and in the middle, most times crowds are quiet. They're just like, man, I hope he's okay. No, these Commanders fans said, look, Heineke. This happened. I promise you, they love this man. And I think they can respect him because, Heineke's not no flash in the pants. He's a hardworking guy. He's not, he doesn't maybe not make all the greatest plays in the world, but he's tough and he's gutsy. And I think that's why Washington fans can agree with him because that's the Washington fan base for the most part, tough and gutsy. And I think that's why they love Heineke. But I'm telling you, every single play that man made, and they started chanting Heineke. Like, I was turning around. One guy, I told the guy, I said, watch, 3, 2, and looked up, like, Heineke. I said, I told you, every time he made a bad play. So, yeah, man, it was a bad decision to bring him back. And I know why they did it, because $28 million is the real reason. And I think that, be honest with you, Ron, if Ron had it his way, Taylor would have never became the starter, period. Because he knows that Taylor has these little things, and I think Taylor makes him nervous when he's on the field. He's kind of said that a couple of times in press conferences where Taylor kind of makes him nervous on the field. And so, unfortunately, that may end up costing him in the long run.
Yeah, it definitely will, and I agree with you, Corey. I agree with you, Darrell, on this. Carson's career is definitely done. It has been an abysmal thing to watch throughout the entirety of this 2022 season.
Rough.
And with that, we'll take it to Melvin's comment. Fire Rivera.
Melvin says, get out of here.
Melvin says, get him out of here. Melvin is not playing around with him saying he basically doesn't have time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Absolutely, Miss Brown. Nobody has time.
Nobody got time for that.
For that, and just some people just can't handle this.
You can't handle the truth.
Absolutely, because even Charles Barkley would look at how Rivera's management style has been, and would look at him and say this.
That's terrible.
And if
Terrible.
Bishop Bullwinkle,
Go ahead and hit it up, baby. Let's
if
go.
Bishop Bullwinkle was managing this team, if he was the GM and just looked at one of these circumstances, he would say this.
Hell to the no, to the no, 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 no. Hell no, to the no.
Bro, I'm telling you, get him out of here.
Poor
All
man.
right.
Poor Ron, man. I really do like Ron Rivera. I got to make sure I say that out loud. I really do love Ron Rivera.
And I got to
just
say
feel
it
bad
too.
for him.
I like you too, Ron, but it's just like the riverboat style just isn't working here in Landover. So Washington needs to be gutted, owner on down, including that stadium. Facts. No doo-doo water on the fans anymore. Let's get that out of here. Doo-doo water out of the face. Drew throwing shade on Rivera, says Melvin. Absolutely, because I'm looking at him and saying this.
You should know your role and shut your mouth.
Yes. Know it, do it, live it. Because some people are out here doing this to you right now, team. And myself as a fan of the formerly known as the REDSKINS, this hurts.
That's rough.
Please.
That's rough.
Get it in shape.
That's rough, man. That's rough.
So with that, Ike says, I feel for D. Willie as a fan. That kind of comes in naturally next. He feels for me as a fan. So thank you, Ike, for that shade thrown towards it. Sean Taylor tribute was trash, says Ike. And we agreed on that with how we gave our take with that Ron Rivera segment. Fire Heineke.
That's tough. Taylor's a free agent, I believe. So if the new regime is there, I don't expect him to be back. I mean, if the new regime is there, obviously, if Ron is there, there's a strong chance he does come back. But if I'm Taylor, maybe you go somewhere where you feel a little bit more respected. He's got enough tape on, he's got enough tape out there now. People can say, well, I like Taylor, man. Taylor could come in and be a solid backup or maybe even a starter somewhere else. I mean, obviously his teammates love him. And it screams it every time they talk about him. They love this man. So, and they'll go to war for him. So,
well, I'm going to take this a step further. I'm going to say I'm out. Melvin, I know I look like Wilson from Home Improvement right now, but when you think about what you just said with Fire Heineke, I need you to get out of here with that noise. I'm wearing a shirt. I'm going to actually take this banner off for a second. I am wearing. We hit it a second, and then the banner went away. But all right, Melvin, look at this. The shirt that says The Legend of Taylor Heineke. I am wearing it right now for this show, the birthday edition, episode 69 of the In or Out Sports Debate for Taylor Heineke. He should have been the quarterback last week. We, as a team, the Commies, would have been in a better shape for this upcoming Week 18 matchup for the Dallas Cowboys, a chance to make the playoffs with another new name, okay? But we can't do that this year. Why? Because it was mismanaged by this man that you speak of, Ron Rivera. You want to come up here and say, fire Heineke, with me looking like Wilson from Home Improvement. I say no.
Man, look, Taylor has done his job this year. Yes, he made some mistakes here and there, but I don't think there's no reason to get rid of him. At the worst, he is a really good backup quarterback.
Absolutely. And got to give a shout to Latina and Cali. Darrell, your boy back in October caught the COVIDians, okay? I had it. Early week of October, I had it for 6 days. The worst 6 days I can recall in the past decade. But this person right here, Latina and Cali, thank you so much for recommending the elderberry syrup that you sent me a link to. I ordered it. It was here in 48 hours, and I ingested the elderberry syrup in a short period of time. I was getting my taste back, my smell back, was feeling better. And even though I was taking like cold and flu meds to help along with that, the actual taste and smell, I feel like, came back faster based upon her suggestions that I have for that. So shout out to Latina and Cali for following us here on Legacy Maker Sports Network.
Appreciate it, Latina.
Fan of the Snowman digital media site where they have Snowman in the Morning, which is how she found me on Snowman in the Morning Plus. So thank you again, Latina and Cali, for being there for your boy and helping me get back to 100.
Oh man, it's funny that you say that. Like that elderberry, man, my poor wife she hasn't had taste for a year and a half. So that COVID ain't no joke, man. She still ain't got taste all the way. So
well, when this show's over, we'll talk about it in the green room. I'll send you that link because I'm telling you, Latina and Cali is awesome. And then she comes back with, "This is the best show on earth," or what? Question mark. I don't know about all that, but I bring a personality.
It's a pretty good show, though. It's a pretty good show.
It is. Like, I bring a personality to this show, and like I just do what I love to do, and that's entertain the fans. And I bring people on here that I feel like deserve a chance because this is a platform provided to me by the Legacy Maker Sports Network. From this guy sitting to the side of me right here, so I got to give him a shout out. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have this on this live display that we have. So. Again, this celebration today for this birthday episode is just as much for him as it is for me. The best show on earth, as you call it, would not be possible without him. And I just bring whatever is on my mind out to you guys and have a great time doing it. And I couldn't think of a better way to spend at least a little over an hour of my birthday than with you guys here. The next comment here is the ladies from The View want to cancel football.
Man, I saw this. They tripping. They tripping.
Yeah.
I saw that, Jake. I said they tripping, man. Like, they tripping. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna leave that one alone because that's gonna get political. But yeah, they tripping.
Latina, you've got some great comments. I'm gonna actually save those for the second half comments of the show, and we're gonna get back to these comments. We got to get through 2 more rounds, and guys, keep the comments coming. We'll acknowledge them here at the end, but I want to basically get through these next couple rounds because we're already here over the hour mark. With that being said, let's go ahead and take this into round 4 and see what we got for the By the Numbers segment.
Round 4.
And here for round 4, guys, the By the Number segment, we are here for episode 69. And with that, a party number for a party episode. Birthday episode for your boy here. And we celebrate with a party number. I can't believe. Go off script for a second. I can't believe that we are at 69 episodes at this point for the first week of 2023. With that said, it falls on a historic, trailblazing day. A party number for a party episode. Woody Peoples is the greatest athlete to ever wear the number 69 in all of sports history. With that being said, Woody's aside, how do you feel about this, Darrell? Are you in or are you out on this one?
I am out. Sorry, Woody. Man, look. First of all, let's give love to the great name. Let's give love to the name, the great name that is Woody Peoples. A great player in his own right. But for me, there's 269s that I got to give love to. First, the one that I'm not picking, and that's my guy David Bakhtiari, great Green Bay Packer. Injuries the last 2 years kind of hurt him. Much love to Bach. Glad that he's back. He looked great last week. Got to get that out the way first. But my choice, and this hurts my heart, it hurts my soul, because he plays for the team I hate the most. That's the Minnesota Vikings. That is Jared Allen. Jared Allen is, to me, the best 69 there ever has been. Allen has had he's in the top 20 all-time in sacks, 136 sacks in his career. He's up for the Hall of Fame this year, and he's a finalist, so there's a strong chance that, after this show, by the time we do episode 84, this man will be a Hall of Famer. So for me, I'm going with Jared Allen, and there were some decent ones in there, but I'm going with Jared Allen. He is my choice for the greatest 69 of all time.
Darrell Owens, this is the first time throughout the entirety of this show where I'm going to say I am ashamed of your pick. And that is why I'm going to go with out, but with a different name, I'm out. Now, I have to acknowledge something to start with that. The name Woody Peoples for episode 69 has got to be the greatest coincidence ever in sports history, or just history of anything in general. Woody Peoples, episode 69, you're welcome here. But when you put all that aside, episode 69, the best to ever wear 69, you have a good pick in Jared Allen, but you forgot somebody else who, in his 12 seasons in the NFL, the retired offensive guard was named to the Pro Bowl twice and won 3 Super Bowl championships, 3. A starter and 1 with the Washington, formerly known as the Redskins, and 2 with the Denver Broncos. The tenacious guard out of the University of Idaho played at a high level throughout his career, despite battling chronic knee problems and undergoing 29 surgeries throughout his career. You've got to give it up to one of the best ESPN analysts of all time, and that is Mark Schlereth for the best to ever wear 69.
Okay.
Darrell, he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, and you come on my show and you talk about Jared Allen.
Hey, look, I like.
And you leave out Mark Schlereth. And you want to give your shout out to Green Bay.
Of course, I'm gonna give a shout out
to Mark Schlereth.
Look, I like Mark Schlereth. I spoke to Mark Schlereth last week. Literally walking down the hallway, I said hi to him last week, and he had his Washington Commanders jacket on after they had gave love to the Hogs on the field. He was feeling all spiffy. He looked all smooth. And look, I like Mark Schlereth, man. I ain't got anything against Mark Schlereth, man, but maybe it's because I've seen Jared Allen terrorized my quarterbacks for too long that I went with JA. But I'm still going with Allen, man. I just think that he was so tenacious, and no, he doesn't have the Super Bowls to prove it. But I just, as a player, for me, there was something special about Jared Allen. So yeah, I'm gonna go. And I know offensive linemen don't get the love, but yeah, I'm definitely going there with this.
I mean,
Definitely.
Jared Allen was special, okay? And that's why I even gave you the acknowledgement at the beginning of it. But a 3-time Super Bowl champion, a man who you passed in the hallway wearing a jacket, how do you not come on here and give him love?
I gave him love. He just ain't my. This gonna sound crazy out loud, but I'm gonna say it. But he just ain't my 69. Look, he just ain't my 69. But like for real though, Mark Schlereth, one of the best, super kind guy, and yeah, man, I'm still going with Jared Allen. I feel good about Jared Allen.
Hey man, this was my fun topic of this episode because of course we named it Woody Peoples was the best ever wear 69. And to actually give some love to Woody, he spent his first 10 years with the San Francisco 49ers just before they became the special team that what we knew in the 80s as the 4-time Super Bowl champions, from what Snowman likes to boast about. The man known as Woody Peoples spent his career with the San Francisco 49ers between 1968 and 1977. He was an offensive lineman just like Mark Schlereth. Finished up his career for the last 3 years in Philadelphia as part of the Eagles team that eventually would make it to the Super Bowl the year later. So Woody Peoples, we joke about the name Woody Peoples, and I can't say it enough. Woody Peoples, solid. Hard rock solid name for episode 69.
Wow.
But when you think about that, he had a hard rock impact on this NFL team known as the 49ers and the Eagles.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I don't know if I can go any more puns, man. Look,
We like to have
Peoples,
fun
man.
here on the In or Out Sports Debate, but we did keep it savvy. And with that being
We
said,
tried.
there is a special announcement that we have going into the final round, and that
Woody
is
Peoples.
this show. It's not Woody Peoples, I promise. But this show is coming up here at the end of January.
LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network, presents a SIRTOBA media production where the struggle is real to be awesome.
Acknowledge me. You should know your role and shut your mouth.
And that's right. Coming soon, the Kayfabe Express. And I'm looking forward to acknowledging who will be part of that episode 1. An independent wrestler who I can't quite give the name out yet, but what I can say this is Darrell Owens knows who he is, and he's participated on AEW Dark. So with that being said, I look forward to giving this surprise out very soon for the Kayfabe Express. And I bring back my guy here, Darrell Owens, who, like, I you know, we are here for episode 69. We've gone through 4 rounds, but I cannot express enough how grateful I am for the opportunity to do what I do. And I'm looking forward to getting back out there soon and doing some basketball and some football games with my guy here. COVID has been really weird.
Yeah.
When you look at my resume, okay, and I'm not trying to boast myself, but when you look at my resume, this is actually the 145th video production I've been a part of that includes sports highlights of doing like University of Richmond, VCU, doing some other high school collegiate productions. And Darrell has been a big part of that. And there's one thing that I have left to cross off my list, and I'm going to do it here soon, as I've talked about with Darrell here in our messenger chats, and that will be calling a game. You and I on the call, me here for the play, but you, dude, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Doing play-by-plays and overall commentary with my guy here, just filling the flow out with him. We've done photography, we've done video, we've gone live on the intranet, okay? On the internet. Yeah. But the one thing we have left to do to cross off our list is calling a game. So
yeah, we were supposed to do it a couple of years ago, and I can't remember exactly. So COVID might have happened. I think that's what probably happened. But we were supposed to do it a couple of years ago, and it didn't happen. But the time has come. The time has come.
It has, because even Snowman, with us being on Sports Sensation Unleashed, has said we've got radio voices, and there's one person that I want to try it out with, and that is my guy here to my side, good old Dio. And with that being said, we've got one final round to get to in this episode. And let's go ahead and see what we got left to talk about here for this final round.
Final round.
And here for the final round, a guy that I have talked about profusely throughout the series of the In or Out Sports Debate. And that one will be this year's playoff run will be the final one for legend Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II. How do you feel about this one, Darrell? Are you in or are you out on this one?
This is a tough one. This is actually tougher. This might be the toughest one we have tonight because God. I'm gonna say I am out on it. I'm out. So what makes this so tough is because there's so many avenues to this. Obviously, you know, I don't see Tom Brady as a guy who wants to end his career the way it's kind of been the last couple of weeks. Now, by all means, if they go out there and they win the Super Bowl, then I'm pretty sure we have seen the last of Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, if that is the case. If it's a weird exit in the playoffs, he's coming back 100%. I don't see he may not be in Tampa next year. A lot of the rumors that we're hearing is that that the Raiders may be that spot. The Raiders may be the place that he ends up going to if that does happen because of the Josh McDaniel connection. I've heard New England as a possibility to go back to, but yeah, for me, I'm out only because I just feel like first of all, I don't think they're gonna go that deep. I don't think they're gonna go to the Super Bowl. They could surprise me because they're Thomas Brady is there. But I don't see them going that deep. And I think he wants to go back and have one really solid season to finish it off. I mean, with the divorce and everything that went down this year for him, a lot of people think the guy is made of iron. But I mean, even though when you're in those situations, man, like with your family, it's you gotta, I think you can't tell me it didn't affect them just a little bit. So for me, I'm gonna say I'm out on it because I think he's gonna try it at least one more year. That's just me.
I have to stick with what I've been saying for the past 4 to 6 weeks. I'm in. This has been a very rough year for one Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II. And when I get excited about saying his name, like I even have to pull up this special thing so that way I make sure I don't have a heart attack. So when I'm talking about one
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II.
and I think about what he's contributed to this team this year, the Buccaneers, this team that had just barely got the division that they got. They're 8-8 right now. The Saints are 7-9. The Panthers are 6-10 and had a chance of still making the playoffs up until within the past couple weeks. You had the Atlanta Falcons with their quarterback woes of Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder. And then you had the Panthers who had Baker Mayfield earlier in the season, along with Sam Darnold and P.J. Walker. I mean, you had all these different things going on. The Saints who haven't had a consistent quarterback since Drew Brees left 2 years ago. So you think about the parameters of what this division currently is, the NFC South. The best division for Tom Brady to actually make the playoffs right now, unless he leaves this offseason and goes to somewhere like, I'm sorry, Snowman, but the San Francisco 49ers that will potentially need a quarterback to help bring up Trey Lance throughout the ranks because you got Brock Purdy, a good quarterback, a good backup quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant. You've got Trey Lance, who hasn't played enough for us to really understand what he can or can't be, okay? Preseason's one thing. During the season is another, and he hasn't been healthy enough during the season to tell me anything different than what Brock Purdy's doing. So you'd be better off bringing in one Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II to help encourage by it's hard to really explain, to help build up and boost the confidence of this team, because I'm telling you, Snowman, this team's not going to the Super Bowl this year. I will wholeheartedly say that on my day of birth, the Super Bowl team coming from the NFC East, or not NFC East, but coming from the NFC in general, will not be the San Francisco 49ers, okay? I got a feeling it's coming from somewhere else, and it could be potentially coming from the NFC North, and it will not be the Minnesota Vikings. So when you think about everything that Darrell and I have both said throughout this episode, Darrell thinks that he'll be back. I think that with what he's gone through this season, when you compare what Tom Brady's numbers were in previous seasons, he went through a really rough stretch of throwing multiple interceptions in the game up until about a week ago. And you think about how he's produced over this season, he's not the Tom Brady of old. He is 45 years old. But unless he goes to a team that can keep him upright, because he is practically the Statue of Liberty, and he's out there, he cannot move, he's not mobile enough, he can't get you 5 yards on a rush, he's going to get you maybe 2. And you think about he's not immobile. You need to have a strong offensive line to keep him upright. And San Francisco is the only place that I can see during the offseason that would keep Tom Brady upright. Any other team would be foolish enough to bring Tom Brady in and pay him the amount of money that they would, because they wouldn't get the dividends that they would on the other side of it.
Yeah, I can if he's going to go anywhere, San Francisco makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. And I think one of the reasons you mentioned is, he's got the young guys behind him so they can kind of learn from him. And that does make sense. The one thing about the Vegas one that kind of makes me a little bit weary, and somebody said this the other day, I can't remember what sports show. Yes, you bring him in, but how long do you have him? And if you're Devontae Adams in that situation, you get Tom for 1 year, but what do you get after that? I mean, just imagine if you're, Devontae Adams right now, you got to feel sick to your stomach. You leave Green Bay thinking, oh man, I'm going to go and play with my guy for the next couple of years, and they're shipping this guy out of town. That's another topic for another day. But yeah, man, Thomas coming back. It really depends on how this playoff goes. I mean, if they battle and they get close, man, he definitely coming back. And I wouldn't think it's almost like if they do really bad too. I just don't see. He's just too much of a competitor to end on a bad note, a really bad note, I should say. So this playoffs is going to determine a lot for TB.
I know I've given so much hate about
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II.
Of the course, past 4 to 6 weeks. But guys, like, we could be seeing his very last couple sets of games between this weekend and the first week in the playoffs, because I don't expect him to lead this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team to the NFC Championship game. If he does, it's more true grit on Tom Brady's behalf than what we were talking about in round 1 with Aaron Rodgers. Right. Okay. Just because you disagree with that and saying it's a whole team effort there in Green Bay. Right. It would be more on the will of Tom Brady if they got to the NFC Championship this year based on everything that we've seen throughout the course of this year. So it's going to be interesting to see what we encounter over the course of the next 2 weeks in NFL football land. But guys, we've gone through 5 rounds here so far on this show. And before we take it any further, we have to acknowledge something here for this show, and that is Darrell's induction again to the Vault of Fame.
Acknowledge me.
That's right, Roman. We're going to acknowledge Darrell as now a 4-time Vault of Fame inductee. My guy Darrell Owens is now here for 4th time on the Inter-Out Sports Debate. And Darrell, since the last time you were here for episode 46, we've taken it to a step further. We got a leaderboard here now.
Ooh, look at that
leaderboard.
Look at this fancy graph you got going on here, sir.
Thank you. We've got we got Rob Johnson, our boy, here at the top with 12 appearances, a streak that Joey Raymond in second is trying to break. But then for the third spot, we got Dio and Champagne Jimmy, James Brown, there for the 3rd place spot here on the Inter-Out Sports Debate. Then for 4th place, we've got Brian H. Waters, the turncoat we were just talking about earlier.
The turncoat.
Along with Cody Stewart and Michael Bish of the 4 Wide Podcast, and Corey Mann and P. Alexander Wally of the Undisputed Champions, all tied for the spot that you were just in, now coming out of for the 4th spot. And then we've got 12 panelists tied for 2 appearances apiece for the 5th place spot. Dude, we have had a lot of action here in the Inter-Out.
It was getting crowded in that 3 spot. I needed some space. I'm kind of a big guy. So I was like, if I can just kind of creep up just to one notch, and me and James, that give me a little bit of room, but it was a lot of guys in that 3 spot, man. I needed to get I needed a little bit of space, And so look, you said if James come on soon, I'll be sitting at 4 by myself for at least a little bit. So I'll take a little bit of extra space. I need room in the vault. Okay. I gotta have a place for my drinks, and I can't, I'm just saying, I'm just saying.
Hey, now that football season is going to be ending here soon, we got some more time. We got to work you in here to move you closer to Rob Johnson up in there. We'll have to make some moves happen at some point. But, hey, I just appreciate you being here for the previous 3 and now the 4th time. So thank you again for now being tied for 3rd place on the Vault of Fame leaderboard here on the Inter-Out Sports Debate. And I can't say here enough. With that being said, we have up next here on the Inter-Out Sports Debate, we have episode 70. Antonio Penn, professional football player, along with Joey Raymond, back with me for episode 70 on Monday at 7:05 p.m. Eastern here on the Inter-Out Sports Debate. And then we have, again, as mentioned earlier for breaking news, Rob Johnson joins me again for episode 71 for his 13th appearance to add towards that top spot here on the Inter-Out Sports Debate.
Trying to extend that lead, I see.
Yeah, man. Just
trying to extend that lead.
Creeping it on along. He's there and willing to keep it going. So thank you again, Rob, for being here on the In or Out Sports Debate. Then we back for the Legacy Maker Sports Network handles here on the In or Out Sports Debate, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, and as always, you can check out the In or Out Sports Debate, but as well as the latest on Legacy Maker Sports Network on the LegacyMakerSports.com. The In or Out Sports Debate is available on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Twitch as well beyond the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Then you can check out the audio platforms on Apple and Google Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Prime, Anchor.fm, and you can download them individually on iTunes. You can check out SIRTOBA Media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as YouTube. And check out the latest for this media company on SIRTOBA.com, where the struggle is real to be awesome. Guys, again, I don't know how I have enough oxygen to say this, but the sports Senseis Unleashed is available on Mondays at 1:05 p.m. Eastern on SDM Sports Radio Network and re-syndicated on the Legacy Maker Sports Network as well. And again, for the stoic pitcher that Darrell liked to say on episode 46.
Willie Bucks, baby.
You can say it's back.
Look. Hey, I don't know what y'all doing out there, but y'all go ahead and toss some Willie Bucks. You know what I'm saying? $D Willie 87. Go out there and get some of them. Look how stoic. Look how stoic Drew is on the $10 bill. Let's get some Willie Bucks. Let's make it happen, y'all. Come on, Willie Bucks. Let's go.
All day, every day, like you said on episode 46. So I had to throw that in there as well. Guys, thank you. As always, hasn't happened yet, but I'm hoping that it happens at least one time.
Oh, it's coming. The Willie Bucks are coming. Somebody is going to drop some Willie Bucks in there. You know, I'm just saying. Somebody's going to drop some Willie Bucks in there. It's coming.
It's coming, my man. I appreciate it. But guys, again, we are here for episode 69. It's my day of birth, and I again couldn't fathom celebrating with anybody else besides Darrell Owens here on my show, but also with the fans. Thank you who are watching it live as well as syndicated. We've gone through 5 rounds of this special edition of this show, and we've gone through the Vault of Fame, and the only thing up next is we've got to acknowledge the Mayhem culmination and see what you guys have left to say for this show. Let's see what you got left. And guys, when we finished this off at the midway point, because for the first time in a while, we had so many comments, I had to cut it off going into the second half of the show.
Like Operation Shutdown here. We'll come back for later.
So we are back for the comments from the fans. Thank you again for keeping them coming, for the happy birthday wishes, as you guys have said to me throughout the day. It has meant a lot. Like I've had a wild birthday today, and Darrell and I talked about it before we went live. And we'll leave that neither here nor there as we go through episode 69 on a birthday. So when we think of everything, we went through Latina and Callie's comments for what they said, and she picked up on this and said, heart attacks causes permanent damage, though. I don't think it's a smart idea to keep playing football. And how do you feel about Latina's comments here there, Darrell? Do you agree with this? Are you in or are you out on this one?
No, I'm in on this. I mean, first, the only thing I can really say about this is I would be very surprised if he comes back. I mean, like to play. But then it can be something where he just feels like he needs to give it, another shot. But I'll be honest with you, I don't see how mentally he will be able to come back and play football. I don't see where he could do it. I don't want to down him. If he wants to do it, by all means. I personally, if it was me, bro, I'm hanging him up. I'm hanging him up if it's me, though. That's just how it would be.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about all that, I'm in on this as well. Heart attacks, and I'm sorry I looked like Wilson from Home Improvement. I'm going to try to sit up a little bit because of this comment right here. Heart attacks do cause permanent damage. And for someone like myself who has heart disease and diabetes runs through the genetics, like, you got to take this stuff seriously. You got to start taking care of yourself early on. It is my birthday today, okay? And I am the same number as what Jerome Bettis' number was on his jersey. I am 36 today. So I know that the baby face-esque look on my face, and I'll take the comments away for a second from Latina. I know this is a beautiful face, okay? I know I don't quite look 36. So thank you all out there, especially those of you leading up to the most trailblazingest day of the year, to say that I don't look my age. So thank you very much for saying I look at my 20s, because it's definitely appreciated. But back to what Latina and Callie said about heart attacks, and me being back to Wilson. When you think about everything in perspective of the permanent damage, yes, heart attacks definitely have a lingering effect on the brain, okay? He needs to seriously take in consideration his future, his family's future. I don't even think he's a father yet at 23 or 24 years old. So if he wants to have a family and, grow into the next decade as a person, which he still has plenty of youthful time to do outside of football, they made the right decision by, one, continuing the game, like canceling the game for one, not continuing the game, but two, he's gone through the right procedures throughout in the hospital situation since he's come out of the game. I don't think that you keep playing football. They made the right move, Latina. So definitely a great move to make there. I think if the NFL gave a crap, yeah, I was going to say a crap. If the NFL gave a crap about their players, they should have never forced any medical tyranny on any of their players. How do you? That's actually that's another good one. Latina's firing off. How do you feel about the Darrell? Are you in? Or are you out on this one?
I mean, I agree. I mean, it's just one of those things that the NFL in whole has caught a lot of grief in the last at least last 10 years about their treatment of their players. I saw a video on TikTok, I think yesterday, about Warren Sapp telling us about life insurance and stuff like that within the players. He said, it took him 5 years before he got into the Hall of Fame. He said, you know what else happened in that 5th year mark? They cut my insurance. They cut his insurance out after that. I mean, the guy's a Hall of Famer. The beating that people take for this game. Yes, they know it's a risk from the beginning. Everybody knows it's a risk from the beginning. But I mean, as a company and the money that you're making, you got to find a better way to take care of your players, man. This is a brutal game. The CTE stuff, and they've made strides on certain concussion stuff. I give them credit for that, but at least for making it look like they're trying. But you got to do better, man. There's people walking around that can't barely walk, off right as you name it. They give their bodies for this game for owners and the league itself to make billions and billions of dollars. You got to take care, of these guys, and guaranteed contracts would kind of help that out. And I think you talked about that a couple of episodes ago. And so it's just one of those things that guarantee the contracts, take care of these guys for a little bit, because it's tough, man. It's a really tough world out there, man. Give these guys insurance or something, help them out. It's crazy, long-term insurance.
It's ridiculous how this is set up, because I think you've got to be in the league between 4 and 5 years before you are eligible for that actual pension that you would get for playing in the NFL. And the pensions actually changed, because I was talking with somebody about this the other day. Mm-hmm. It used to be $22,000 per month, which sounds a lot to the average person. But when you think about medical expenses, CTE, and like different things that people experience based on that, you're not fully diagnosed with CTE until you're like dead and they examine your brain.
Yeah.
But there's certain people, and there's like a good percentage of former players that you can tell that are more than likely experiencing that based on the health deficits that they're having in their latter part of their lives as well. So when you go from giving them $22,000 a month to, I can't remember the exact figure, but it's dropped from $22,000. It's between $2,000 and $5,000.
Yeah, I think it's $4,000. I think I heard it the other day too, Drew. I think it's $4,000.
Yeah, because it went from $22,000 a month to, I was going to say between $2,000 and $5,000, but $4,000 sounds about right from what you were saying. So still within that spectrum is a big difference from what you were making before the change of the bargaining agreement. So it is still big. So Latina and Cal, you definitely touched on a very big subject with that. So thank you again for bringing that in. I thought all these strong, athletic young men would have been able to use their brains and think, but I guess I was wrong. Well, yeah, it's hard out here in these streets, Latina.
Yeah, man,
really the best way I can put it with that. Bring back critical thinking. Absolutely. Russell Wilson there in Denver this year. I mean, yeah, she was saying with that, but I'm saying Russell Wilson. I know she's saying this.
I know she hit you with this.
That's more like if I was doing this. But no, but still. I was hiding like Wilson, the home improvement Latina. So yeah, most definitely.
That's great.
Elderly is proven effective, says Latina and Cali. Elderberry is proven effective, is what she meant. So yes, she was absolutely right about that. I'm glad that you were listening in on that part because Latina, I'm telling you, October sucked the start of that. Let me just bring it back to that. I had to be a best man in the wedding at the end of the month. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When I got Covidia, okay, it was like traveling through the land of Covidia. When I traveled to the land and I caught it, okay,
COVID,
and I had to be a best man in the wedding at the end of the month. It does, it absolutely does. But I traveled to the land of Covidia. I came back, I lost, okay. But at the end of the month, I had to be a best man in a wedding. Do you know, Latina, that your serum of elderberry got me very close to being the host of an awesome bachelor party that did not happen because I had COVID.
Because you had
but
COVID.
Without the elderberry syrup, I wouldn't have even come close. Like I came close, but then when I took the test on the day of what was supposed to be the most badass, epic bachelor party, I couldn't do it because I still tested positive. I wouldn't have even gotten that close had it not been for the elderberry syrup. So thank you, Latina and Callie, for being awesome and recommending that on the Snowman in the Morning podcast that you did. And Latina and Callie comes back after that with happy birthday. Well, look, guys, I'm going to actually bring this up from episode 68. So when it comes to the birthday and celebrating, we're celebrating here on January 7th, one of the most trailblazingest days of the year. Cool in the Gang is amazing.
Celebration. Celebrate good time.
Thank you, Latina and Callie, for the comment of the happy birthday. I greatly appreciate it. A surprise comment here. Wow, Jake Quibby is here.
Commander Tutty.
Commander Tutty.
Commander Tutty. Look.
Thank you for that comment. What do you got to say about that, Darrell?
Look, let me tell y'all something about Major Tutty, man. So, all right, right before he made his grand entrance last week, right? He's sitting in the tunnel. I had to go to the back to get my camera, and I was sitting in the back, and they were getting him ready. You can see him kind of like fixing up his pants and stuff. I'm like, he's struggling. His shoulder pad was up here. The head was like this, and they fixed him up, and they said, "Get on out there, Major Tutty." And my man did a stutter step. He was like, "Wow!" And he went out there, man. Oh, Major Tutty. Much love to Major Tutty. Oh, God. I wonder if he's going to be there tomorrow. I'm very intrigued.
It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. To keep things going, the greatest athlete to wear 69 was Doug Glatt from Goon.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give some love to Glatt. I'll give some love to him. I'll give you that.
I disagree there, Victor V. Herrera. My boy from episode 58 of the In-Or-Out Sports Direct. Got to give a shout out to Victor Herrera, who was here for episode 58.
Hey, man,
Doug Glatt was not the best. It was Mark Schlereth, formerly from the RED-SKINS. So, with that being said, I have one request, that if you care about your health, start incorporating turmeric into your diet on a regular basis. I had it to my raw veggie smoothies made by amazing Vitamix blender. Latina and Callie, hit us up separately so I don't like Wilson from Home Improvement, and we can definitely talk about this. I greatly appreciate it. Hit me up on Facebook at Drew Willingham, on Instagram at The Real D Willie, or at any of the In or Out Sports Debate
Willie Bucks
Facebook handles, as well as Willie Bucks, according to Darrell Owens.
Very important.
It chops up the seeds so they don't get stuck in the intestines. Dude, I'm telling you, Latina and Callie has been like a surprise, like Dr. Quinn medicine woman.
She's like health guru, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm telling you, like I don't think I would have like came back to it as fast as I did, because my taste, my smell were back. Like it sucked. Like I was down for 6 days. I never want to go through that again. Like I will admit here on episode 69, I don't have the immunizations, what Aaron Rodgers says. I don't have the shots. But now that I've gone through it once, it's in the
Immunized,
system.
man.
I'm
Immunized. You
a
good.
beast. I'm ready to go. In or out sports debate. Latina and Cali is my fuel for my fire. So thank you, Latina.
It feels for my fire. Let's get it done.
Ike is back, and Ike has another comment. So for Ike, we acknowledge you with the following.
Ike doesn't give a fuck. Fuck.
Ike is back, says he needs to retire, talking about Tom Brady.
Yeah. He needs to retire. Will he retire is the real question, though.
I hope that Tom Brady doesn't go into this playoff and is a return to sender on this.
Looks like Boucher knocked him out cold.
Wouldn't that be a rough way to go out there, Darrell?
First of all, shout out to the Water Boy. It's in my top 10 movies of all time. And it's easy. I have quoted the Water Boy every day of my life since that movie came. Legitly. I'm dead serious. I promise you, there's some quote in there somewhere. I usually, people answer the phone, yes, Mr. Coach Bo, you. You're fire. And so it's Waterboy has been a huge part of my life since its debut. And you'd be surprised how much I use it on a daily basis. You'd be surprised. So top 10 movie for me.
I feel like he needs to retire, and I agree with you. Waterboy is in my top 10 as far as movies of all time as well. But when you think of the fact that he needs to retire, I feel like he does. But would it really be this unusual if he came back?
It's not unusual to be loved by. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. But when I see you hanging about with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry.
I love
Falcon Dance will forever go down in infamy as one of the top 10 dances of all time, in my opinion.
It's legendary. Absolutely legendary.
Absolutely. But Ike, yes, I agree. He definitely does need to retire. And when you think about the comments we have left, TB12 gets 10 Super Bowls by the age of 50, it looks like, from what Melvin says.
He be gone by then. He be gone by then.
So Darrell is out on it.
Yeah, he gonna be gone by then. He'll be gone by then. Nah, he out.
I agree. I'm out on this as well. I mean, I brought this up earlier there, Melvin, but it would be the equivalent of somebody just getting in your face and doing this. And for anybody to think that Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II is actually going to get there, they're going to be like this at the age of 80.
This is some good shit.
Stay off the weed.
Absolutely, Melvin.
That's great.
Because Tom Brady is still standing at the top of the mountain and saying this.
You may claim to be the best in the world, but I'm better than you. And you know it.
Absolutely. Because nobody thought that they were going to be on the brink of this.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
So when
gotta love Jim Moore, man. Gotta love Jim Moore, man. I'm telling you, playoffs.
So when I sit here with my brother Darrell Owens, and I think about speaking of Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II, he's not going to get to 10 Super Bowls by the age of 50. I'm sorry, Melvin. I'm so sorry, but with all the fun aside, just had to bring it back down to earth and say, no, I don't believe so. Latina says, if NFL is foolish enough to bring Hamlin back after a heart attack, That's a bad idea. That's like lying to women that it's good or bad to have babies when they're old.
Eggs are old.
Eggs are old, yeah.
Hey, yo, that's just funny. That's great. That's great.
Latina, you are awesome. That was great. That's why I got to throw in, like, Latina's like sitting here saying this.
I'll be back.
I love it, Latina. You're back here. You're making me look like Wilson from Home Improvement. I love it. I absolutely love it. Latina comes back with the final comment. Legacy Maker Sports, don't forget to say you're not a doctor commentary only.
Yeah, we're not a doctor commentary only. These are all opinions. We're not medical experts, just to let you know. Me and Drew do not have a doctor, or we're not DDMSs or anything like that. We would be, I mean, I know at times in my youth I was a doctor of love, but I don't know about now. I don't know about now.
Darrell Owens will forever be the doctor of love. I said he will forever be the doctor of love.
What?
I said he'll forever be the doctor of love.
What?
You will never doubt what I say when it comes to he is the doctor of love.
What?
And if I say what again?
Say what again? Say.
I'm sorry, but that is the case. Don't say what again. But look, if we continue to do this, somebody's going to say this.
You're fired.
So, guys, we have gone through some great comments here for the In or Out Sports Debate. Thank you, Latina and Callie, for being a great participant throughout these comments of this show. Ike doesn't give a fuck. All you who have been out there, and I said FOK, for those of you who are trying to mute me, I said FOK. So Ike doesn't give a fuck. Thank you for being here as well with Latina and Callie.
It's French, so it's not.
You guys made it. Oh, wait, we got one more. We got, you know what? I'm going to bring it back up here for this one. Latina and Callie is back for one more, and we have to acknowledge it before we go to the final part. If he dies, he dies. Ivan Drago, Rocky Christ. Movie. She absolutely says it, and it's like, when you think about it.
Damn!
No, you're right, because if Ivan Drago was to face Rocky Balboa and Rocky was to morph with Rocky Maivia, he would say this.
You see, The Rock is going to take his boot.
Oh, no. Not the boot.
And then The Rock is going to turn it horizontal or sideways, just the way you like it, or so The Rock has heard.
Wait a minute.
And then, Kurt, in one swift motion, The Rock is going to take his boot and stick it straight up your candy ass!
Because they aren't who we thought they were.
That's hilarious.
That's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Is somewhere out there, Darrell. Somewhere out there, Chris Jericho's looking at this and saying this.
Would you please shut the hell up?
Because when it comes to being this emphatic and this on the flow with things, it takes a lot of this.
But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game. We're talking about practice, man. When you come in the arena and you see me play, don't you? Absolutely. You see me give everything I got, right? Absolutely. But we talking about practice right now.
I'm pulling out all the stops, Darrell. Pulling them all out, even if Triple H is looking at me right now saying this.
You know, liar! Liar.
But I'm looking at Triple H and saying this. That's what I said.
I'll be back.
And even if some people are looking at me right now and saying this.
Hell to the no, to the no, 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 no. Hell no, to the no.
I am looking right back at you and saying this. And then the crowd is just going to come back with it. Because we love having a great time up in here on the In or Out Sports Debate. Thank you all, Latina and Callie, Ike doesn't give a fuck, all of you out there, Melvin, Corey, man, all of you out there for being part of this special episode 69 of giving the culmination from the fans for this last part of it. Thank you again for being here. With that being said, we got to go into the final part of this show. Let's take this into the final word and see what we got left to say. Darrell, we are approaching historically one of the longest episodes here for the In or Out Sports Debate. Thank you again for spending the time with me to do that. And we've had great comments from the fans. We've had some off the rails fun in this episode. Thank you for spending my birthday with me, because this has been great. But you know, from being here in 3 previous episodes, now for the 4th time, when it comes to the final word out of everything we've discussed throughout this episode, or anything in the general in sports or in entertainment, what is on your mind? Get it off your chest. Take this time to get it off your chest there, brother.
Man, first of all, happy birthday, man. I remember 36 so long ago. feel like 2 years ago. So, but man, first of all, happy birthday. Cherish the moments, every moment that you get on that, and just embrace it. So I want to make sure I get it out the way. And next, I would say, for me, I feel like I'm going to take every day, one day at a time. Try to grow every day. If you're out there, try to grow every day in some form of the fashion, whatever you got going on in your life. Just try to grow. Take some little nugget. Take that next step. Grow. Have fun with life. Just truly enjoy it, because I think sometimes we get kind of caught up in so much in life that we don't take time to really sit back and enjoy it. So for me, we're hitting 2023. Wednesday will be 2 years since my mom died. And every day I think about her. She was my rock. A lot of people say we look alike. I mean, I got a bigger head, but that's besides the point. But I love that woman with all my heart. And I just really want to take the time to say, go out there, have fun, grow, y'all. Just be yourselves, man. And just enjoy life. Just enjoy life. And Mama, I love you. God rest your soul.
There's nobody else out there that, for a mother that has passed, that has lived the legacy on better, in my opinion, than you have. Because when it comes to the things you've done over the past 2 years, pandemic on, you've set the tone for this network. Okay. There's some that would say, and I'm not boasting myself when I say this, I'm just being 100% transparent, Darrell. There's a lot of people out there that are saying that between you, myself, and Rob Johnson have been the 3 pillars of the LegacyMaker Sports Network, okay? And when you look at everything we produced over the past 2 years, from pandemic on to now, arguably, that is definitely the definitive statement, because between Rob with his coverage, photos, with what you do between photos, videos, and just as a personality, and then outside of LegacyMaker, and then your mom would be looking down on here proud of you, because this network and the things that we are achieving so far and the potential of what we're achieving going forward wouldn't be possible without the efforts of what you're doing. So my final word before I even get into all that, I want you to be on this screen as I tell you this. I love you, and thank you for everything you've done for me. And this is me. I'm genuine through and through, even if it pisses you off. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I am genuine through and through. I am a real mother father, and I'm going to tell you how it is, in or out, whether I feel like there's some people on here that are fake or not. We are a legacy maker, not legacy faker. And you are a legacy maker. So your mother, before everything went downhill, and I've been there and have been there through you with everything that happened through that part, she would be proud of you with everything that's transpired through that point and what you're doing to give those of us like myself another chance beyond what we currently have. So thank you on behalf of me wholeheartedly for what you've provided for me on this platform and going forward. Now, for also my other half of my final word, because again, I can't give enough love to Darrell Owens for what we've transpired through 68 episodes, now 69 episodes of this show. This show is my baby. I have done everything I can to propel this show to another level from 1 to now 69. We have gone through 68 live episodes. Well, no, my apologies. Okay. 64 live episodes. But we had 60 live episodes in 2022, and we are now in our third one of 2023. It has been a great run on this show. Darrell Owens has been a major, major impact of this show. Now for the fourth time, we acknowledge him as a four-time Vault of Fame inductee. There's been several people who, even if they've only been here for one time, all of you have made several huge impact to this show. Going into this year, going into my birthday, the most trailblazingest day of the year from what they call it, this wouldn't be what it is without your impact. So thank you all. And this is 100% genuine, whether you like it or not, smacking you in the face. This is legitimately like the biggest episode, in my opinion, and the most fun episode to get to this point. 69 is a party number, okay? Everybody loves number 69. Whether you're Christian or you're not Christian, 69 is a great number, okay? Party number or not. We have gotten to 69 episodes by your boy's birthday, okay? I didn't write that. It just happened out of karma, okay? Karma loves Drew Willingham. Karma loves D. Willie. And I love this network known as LegacyMaker Sports Network. SIRTOBA Media is my video brand, okay? I am the Struggle is Real to be awesome. I am SIRTOBA Media. There is no SIRTOBA Media without Drew Willingham. And I can't do this enough, okay? And I hate doing this. And while we're at the final word, I hate the word or the quotation blessed. I hate people using blessed, okay? Because, and I'm going to sit here and tell you while we're live, people who generally use the word I'm blessed or you're blessed are fake as hell. And I'm going to say this based on the fact of it's easy to say blessed when you're accomplishing things, but there's a faith in something above that brings you to whatever you're accomplishing. And people want to say blessed and focused more on the term quotation blessed than what their actual faith is in. You know, I'm not going to sit on here and bring church into the show, okay? And try to say that your faith is into everything you're doing. But can we just say that you earned it? You earned to get to where you're at. I earned it, not I am blessed with it, okay? I brought my energy to this show. I brought my creativity to this show. I don't need anybody else to tell me that I'm blessed. Darrell Owens is on this show. He's the one who gave me the opportunity to do this. I brought everything to this show. I brought myself to this show. I brought 30 plus panelists to this show. They brought their energy to this show. They brought everything they could give me to this show. I didn't write every topic for this show. They brought me ideas. And we produced this show together. Was I a big part of producing this show? Maybe. Were they the ones that brought me the other half of the show? Absolutely. So without the other person, I wouldn't have the In or Out Sports Debate. There is nothing to say blessed about it. You bring yourself to it, whatever your faith is to it, whatever your energy is to it. You don't need to rely on something else. You don't need to be fake and tell somebody else that you are a part of something or just do something based on a New Year's resolution. I have no respect and no sympathy for somebody else who's going to sit here and tell somebody else that they are better than someone or they are the reason why we have what we have. I'm never going to do that. But what I will tell you is this. I wouldn't have this 69 episodes without the other people that I have mentioned, the 30-plus panelists in this show. I can create something. It takes the Legacy Maker Sports Network to provide me the platform. But I can create the overall artistic aspect of this show. But it takes the other participant. It takes the activization of the fans. It takes a lot more than what I personally can produce to make this a live production. And I appreciate every single one of you for doing what you've done. That's why I've taken this time of my day, 2 hours of my day of birth. We have 24 hours of our birthday, and I have spent 2 hours of them with you because I love you. Thank you all for taking the time that you have spent primarily on YouTube and Spotify, but thank you all for taking the time that you have for listening and watching and being a part of what apparently those of us say are what carrying the Legacy Maker Sports Network video production wise. I don't hang a huge hat on that. My fans do, and I love the comments coming from that, and I will do whatever I can to enhance that and make it better on a weekly basis, because this is what drives me. This is what makes me passionate. The love from my team, the Legacy Makers team, and the individual messenger comments, the text messages outside of the Legacy Maker chat, the ones that build me up, the true ones who are a part of my journey, the true ones who know the struggles that I do really have been in, because even Darrell doesn't even know part of that. The ones who have been a part of the struggle is real to be awesome. Lamont Thomas. And those of you other ones that I'm not going to name the names who have been a part of, I love you. I thank you. And this show will continue on to 100 episodes in 2023 because of that passion. So thank you. I know the final word was extended. It's been the longest final word of all final words in 69 episodes of this show. But again, just like anybody I could think of to be here for episode 69, the most epic episode, the birthday episode, 69, the party number, Darrell Owens here. There's nobody else I wanted here than the guy who gave me the start here, the guy who provides me the platform to be here. I love you. Thank you. And I look forward to the things that we can do here in 2023.
Let's do it, brother. Love you, man. Let's get this thing rolling. Let's rock it out.
Brother, we got one last thing to do for this show, and that is look at one badass outro. More badass than any outros that I have on this show. And with that being said, guys, from my guy Darrell Owens here to my side, the godfather of the Legacy Maker Sports Network, I am Drew Willingham here of the In or Out Sports Debate. We've got to tell you one last thing before we go into this part, and that is to stay safe out there in these streets. Again, guys, it's birthday time. You can check out the In or Out Sports Debate on the Legacy Maker Sports Network on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, as well as the TikTok channel and the latest on the LegacyMakerSports.com. The In or Out Sports Debate is on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Twitch, as well as the audio platforms on Apple and Google Podcast, Amazon Prime, Anchor.fm, and you can download them individually on iTunes. You can check out SIRTOBA Media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the upcoming YouTube channel, and the latest on SIRTOBA.com. The Sports Senseis Unleashed, the most epic ninja show on Mondays. You can find on Mondays at 1:05 p.m. Eastern on the SDM Sports Radio Network, syndicated on the Legacy Maker Sports Network, YouTube, and other social media platforms. And from what Darrell Owens calls D Willie Bugs, you can check on Cash App, cash.app/the $DWillie87 for the stoic picture of that donation. And again, we are here for episode 69, making our way on out the door for the happy birthday edition, Saturday, January 7th, 2023, the Jerome Bettis edition, number 36 for episode 69. Darrell Owens joins Drew Willingham for the birthday edition. Thank you all for being here. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being here again. We are taking this thing on out.